Hi guys, it's me, Susan. It's day 103 of the Cancer Club. It's also Friday, and it's also Valentine's Day. That's a trifecta, if I ever heard of one. I told you on Tuesday or Wednesday, I guess, when I posted that I was going to share a little bit of my thoughts about Valentine's Day. They're not unique by any means. You'll hear them a lot, really, from people at this time of year. Um, I obviously wore my Valentine's stuff to work today, but at the same time, I feel like it's so manipulative. It's something that benefits the flower and the candy and the greeting card industry. I worked with a florist one time, and it like makes their year. It's just an unbelievably incredible day of profit for the flower people. And as you know, you can buy roses one day and they're $80, and the next day they're $20. So that's the kind of thing that really irks me. And it used to lead me to be a kind of a buzzkill, really. My husband Mike was outstanding at Valentine's Day demonstrations. He would send a dozen red roses to the office. He would always give beautiful cards and gifts. And while I appreciated it, I also kind of always thought like, oh, maybe I don't know, get them the next day when they're $20, or I don't need anything. I would get him a card usually, but I think women don't. Somehow they feel like you're supposed to be giving that stuff to me, but I don't really need to do it for you. I don't know if you all feel that way. I think I was guilty of that myself sometimes, but I know other people that send Valentine's cards to everybody that they can think of, I don't send one to my grandson. I don't send one to friends or family members. To me, it's a holiday for intimate expression between partners and couples, and yet at the same time, I think that there's so many expectations, shoulds, assumptions that we make that probably more often than not it ends up being a disappointment or a frustration or a negative experience, and I think that's really unfortunate. There's nothing wrong with having a day where we just sort of maybe go out of our way, but like everything else, like Christmas too and everything else, it's just gotten over the top commercially, and I just can't do that. After I finish posting, I'm going to go to the grocery store, and I have to go anyway to get some things, but I'm also going to go and watch the guys standing in front of the card rack, kind of going like, oh, what should I get? And the floral department to see what's left, and leaving with looks of desperation on their faces as they hope. I mean, I've heard horror stories about women even worse than me, I think. Like one guy told me he bought his wife a plant, beautiful plant, and her response was, "One more thing I have to take care of. Why didn't you get me cut flowers?" You know? But another one, "You got me cut flowers, that's such a waste. They're just going to die." So it's like, give up. Write something from the heart on a piece of paper, and really it'll go a long way towards, I think, meeting a true need for intimacy if your partner has a true desire to hear how you really feel. Mike had a theory, and it was, I think, suited his personality just fine, that you should always get your wife a beautiful, romantic card, sentimental and romantic card for Valentine's Day, for her birthday, and for your anniversary. Because that way, when she opens it, she's very moved, she reads this stuff, she gets tearful, she hugs you and feels so grateful, and you never actually have to say any of those mushy words that you can't stand to say, but you get them across anyway. So that was his theory, and he was quite good at it. I'm going to tell you one more little story about what happened 4 years ago on Valentine's Day. It was the last Valentine's Day we had together, and I had totally prepared myself. I knew he was very sick. He was bedridden. He couldn't really. He was in and out of dementia. So I was totally fine with me. I had no expectation that anything would happen on Valentine's Day, because I didn't think he even knew what day it was really, or what year it was, or anything. And I mean, that was sad, but I certainly wasn't concerned about Valentine's Day. So anyway, Valentine's Day I think was on a Saturday, and he had a caregiver that came in for 6 hours every day while I went to work. And the caregiver came in on Monday morning and said, "Well, how did you like it?" And I said, "Like what?" He said, "Your Valentine's present. How did you like it?" I said, "I didn't get a Valentine's present. I wasn't expecting one. What are you talking about?" So we went in to Mike, and Mike said, "Oh, yeah. Where was it again?" They had concocted this plan where Mike, his own initiative, looked in the James Avery jewelry catalog, picked out a beautiful charm, which is actually on the bracelet I'm wearing today. The Valentine charm for that year was called A Box of Chocolates. It was silver and it was open and had some little chocolates in it, and a gold one in the shape of a heart. The box was in the shape of a heart. It was gorgeous. He had called them, given his credit card number, ordered the charm, and the caregiver went to pick it up on Friday. And it was all wrapped and gorgeous, and the caregiver put it in the closet. And Mike was going to, on Valentine's Day, tell me to go look in the closet, except he forgot to do it. And it was just, I mean, to me, I was so moved. I mean, the effort, I mean, if you could understand the effort that it must have taken for him to carry out that plan. And I just felt so moved and so appreciative that I had the chance to spend 25 years with someone who had the capacity for that kind of gesture. It was really wonderful. And then that was the 14th, and 10 days later was when he passed away. So that will always be a very meaningful experience for me. So as far as you and your loving relationships, I will continue my theme of saying share feelings, appreciate the other person. I'm going to offer you some more resources for how to do that, including paying more attention to the possible things that aren't that easy to live with about your own self, and maybe focusing more on the things that go unnoticed or unappreciated in your partner. And it can sometimes go a long way to really smoothing things over, or even developing a kind of warmth where you have a desire for connection rather than this continuous focus on what's missing. That's a negative way to experience a relationship, and if you're going to keep doing that, you're going to keep getting the same results. You're going to keep seeing what's missing instead of seeing what's there and being able to share how you feel about that. So I will let you go when I will be off to the grocery store to spy on the guys and their Valentine's efforts. And I appreciate seeing you all. Next time I post, which will probably be after the weekend, although I may go sooner. I'm spending the weekend doing my yard and doing tons of spring cleaning work around here. It's going to be a beautiful warm weekend, so I'm going to take advantage of that. So I'm not sure when the next time I see you will be, but in the meantime, please remember to live well, laugh often, and love much. And I hope you have a great weekend. I'll see you soon. Bye now.